Hello, children. Welcome to another wonderful, amazing day of math class. So, today we are going to be talking about proportions and identifying proportions, writing proportions, knowing all about proportions, and how we can do all the math that goes along with proportions. So, let's say that I wanted to understand a ratio. Let's say I have a ratio, and let's say this ratio is 6 to 4. All right, I have a ratio, and it is 6 to 4. And then I have another ratio, and it is 21 to 14. Okay, two ratios, 6 to 4, 21 to 14. And I want to know, are these two ratios equal? Does 6 over 4 and 21 over 14, are those equal? So, or another way to say equal, think about fractions. The way to say equal fractions is equivalent. Are these equivalent ratios? And the way we know if these are equivalent ratios, we want to simplify these all the way down. 6 and 4 can both be divided by 2 to give me 3 and 2. And then 21 and 14 can both be divided by 7 to give me 3 and 2. And since these are the same ratio, these are equal. These are equivalent ratios. So equivalent ratios means we simplify them down. And then knowing that equivalent ratios exist, we now have proportions. And a proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. So a proportion says two ratios are equal. It is just as good as that. So knowing that, this is one great way to do it. If we have two ratios, we can simplify them down to say, are these going to be equal? Another example we might have is something like 2/7 and 6/21. Are these equal? So let's try and simplify. 2 and 7, that's as simple as it goes. It doesn't get simpler than that. But 6 and 21 can both be divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 21 divided by 3 is 7. This is still 2/7. These are equal. This is a proportion. Woohoo! This is a proportion. What if I had something like 8/24 and 6/20? Is this a proportion? Well, let's simplify. 8 and 24 can both be divided by 8. This gives me 1/3. 6 and 20 can both be divided by 2. This gives me 3/10. 1/3 and 3/10 are not equal. This is not a proportion. Not equal fractions or ratios, not a proportion. All right, another way we could do this is, let's say we had something like 2/4 and 3/6. Okay. Another way we can check to see if things are equal is by cross multiplying. All right, so we cross multiply. We say, all right, 4 times 3 that is 12. 2 times 6, that is 12. If both of these values are the same, it's a proportion. Every time. Always a proportion if both of these are the same. Let's have something like 8 twelves and 2/3. I could say, well, 12 times 2, that's 24. 8 times 3, that's 24. These are the same. This is a proportion. It's always going to work to do the cross multiplying. Sometimes we might have to multiply really big numbers, so it's nice to simplify our fractions first. But the cross multiplication will always work to be able to say if this is a ratio. All right, let's try this one. You let me know if this is a proportion, and we will talk about this more in class tomorrow. 7/8 and 14/24. Is this a proportion? Bye.